And the art world, well, I've never really been in the art world. I've always been on the skirmishes of it. I'm sort of like in the gutters of the art world. That's what I would say. It's the best part, I tell you. It's where the fun is. But yeah, I think it's going to be really difficult. I think people have been panicking a little bit as well. Everyone's gone online with everything, so like all the museums are suddenly doing all these online tours and all stuff like this, right? And I can understand why they're doing it, because they want to still keep art and creativity in the people's minds. So then when we do come out of this, they will still think, oh, art and creativity, carry on. So I understand that, but I think we also actually, I hope that it destroys the art world in a way, so it can be rebuilt in a more social framework that actually benefits all, instead of just a very small percentage of artists. You know, like I've said before, you know, the average artist earns $5,000 a year, right? And I don't know anyone in England who can rent a place in London for $5,000 a year. Do you know what I mean?
No, I'm glad you said that, actually, because
it doesn't happen.
We had a girl who's a friend of ours called Alice, and she's a art curator in Los Angeles, and she's actually from Ukraine, and she just did this like fat file, she was telling me, to finally get a visa to work in the US, and she was like, this is it, LA, and then all the galleries closed, and I was like, oh, that sucks. But like, yeah, me and her talked a lot about online shows and stuff, and we didn't actually mention, the whole destruction of it and what might come from it. You know, creativity.
I really do hope it gets destroyed, because it's been a rich boys club for far too long, and you know, it's not fair that it's only a very, very small percentage of people, and a lot of these people aren't great artists. It's just they're good at fucking PR companies with them and stuff like this, right? You know, or they've got art buyer, because it's the art buyers who, or the art sellers, I should say, are the ones who basically choose who becomes famous or not, or whose art becomes popular, or do you know what I mean? You know, and I think that's wrong. Like, you know, I'd like to see the art world. I want to see more community arts. I want to see more arts made by people in prisons, you know, or hospital art, and people with mental health problems. I want to see all that in the galleries. I want to see, like, you know, real art, not just a fucking piece of painted fucking bright red piece of wood shoved in a gallery and then go, oh yeah, that's going to cost you 20 million to buy. Fuck off! I don't want to see shit like that.
Everyone wants to be creative. Like I've known. I came from a very not like, I was much more sports and that sort of thing growing up, and then I sort of merged into it in my sort of late teens, early 20s, and the amount of my friends who are still quite, you know, away from the art world are so intrigued. They all want something, you know, they're all intrigued. How can I do this? But like with the face of it, you're just, you know, you like walk up to the door and then you're like, oh, okay, nah, not for me.
It's funny, right? Because the art world, right, because they're stuck in their way of working, and they're like, why change? It's always worked this way. Why change? Right? Well, I'll tell you why it's changed, because stuff like this, what's just happened, will destroy you overnight, right? And if you don't let everyone in, then that only small percentage of people, that's only going to last for so long before that all falls apart. Like, you know, the big nationals, they'll start falling apart because suddenly they're not getting the investment, they're not getting the money coming in and stuff like that, right? Or they're, oh, by the way, you're the head of the Arts Council and your wife is getting a huge amount from the Arts Council to do her artwork. Oh, funny that, isn't it? Like, do you know what I mean? So, and it shouldn't work like that. It shouldn't be brown over, like, you know, and little funny handshakes in the toilets and all this sort of stuff. Like, you know, it's bollocks, man. You know. So, what happens is the art world needs to sort of like really listen and become. You know, they say that community arts can't bring money and status to a place. totally disagree with this, right? When you look at places like Santa Monica, I think it's Santa Cruz. I'm trying to think that Santa Cruz Museum. A woman called Nina Simons took it on. It was making something like 850 grand a year. That's what it was making, right? And people couldn't understand why the community never came into it, right? So she was like, well, fuck this. We're going to change everything. The community are going to be the curators, right? They're going to be in working here, choosing the art, making the art, you know, and all this sort of stuff, right? They went in, I think it was a 5-year period from making 850, right, to nearly 8 million a year, right? Because it was the community arts which suddenly brought all the community in. So then the community would come in and they were treating it as if it was like another part of their life. You know, so it actually tenfold of people coming in and using the space, buying stuff and wanting to be part of it, right? And this can happen with every museum, right? That they should be cultural spaces because they're public buildings, right? They should be cultural spaces for everyone, not just a small elite, right? And the only way you can make these truly integrate, fucking hell. True equity, right? It's a fucking word. True equity for everyone is by having everyone being part of it, right? So, you know, this is why I think, you know, if it was me, I'd put a fucking great big bomb into the art world and blow the fuckers up, right? You know, and start again, right? But have every element, every diversity, every minority, every group, every ethnic, do you know what I mean? The whole fucking melting pot of what makes us a cultural fucking country, full of this diverse beauty, and have everyone's voices in there, right? So I want to see artwork by people who've had addiction problems on the walls. I want to see artwork by mothers with single babies, and you know what I mean? Yeah. This whole sort of variety of stuff, right? You know, because then that make me feel like that I have some equity in that building because I'm seeing art made by people like me. And that's and that will make I think it was Sir Nicholas Throater turned around and said, how do we get people into the art world who wouldn't normally come in there? Well, it's quite easy. They have to be part of that fucking world, right? You can't just say, oh, we're giving you the opportunity to be part of this world. No, it's our fucking world as well, mate, right? My fucking taxes are paying for this, so I want part of it. You know, this is why I really want to go into one of these big museums one day and just fucking put a nail in the wall and put a piece of my artwork up and walk off and see if they take it down. But you know what I mean? Like, just to say, right, fuck it, like, you know, because I think, you know, it's all well and good me whinging and like, you know, I've been very lucky that I've managed to have shows in some of these big places. Like, I have been very lucky. I've had stuff in the Tate Modern, Tate Liverpool, Salt Mills in Leeds. Where else have I been? I can't remember now. But you know, I've had some big shows, like, and that's been great. And I've had funding for several shows. But it took fucking a lot of blood, sweat, and tears to be able to get there. A person like me shouldn't be getting shows like that. Yeah, I shouldn't be. Like, not in their eyes. So, am I becoming the token? Am I the tokenistic element of, you know, they make it look like they're letting people in little by little, chicken step, but ultimately doesn't really change, does it? So this is why I think something like this virus could actually be a really good fucking thing, because suddenly the art world has to change, corporations have to change, governments have to change, everything has to. We can't go back to what was normal, because normal wasn't working for anyone before. So if it wasn't working for anyone before, then why the fuck would we want to go back to that normal? I want to go back. I want to go to something new. I want to try something new.
Yeah, I agree. I'm trying to concept my own TV show. I've got a screen coming in the. I've ordered a green screen.
Do it, man.
And I'm trying to, like, even if it doesn't go anywhere, just to, I just thought this is a great opportunity to reclaim something and to do something myself because I've got the time.
I agree, and I think you just said the right thing. It's about reclaiming, right? Because we do have the ownership of this rights. The BBC makes programs for, well, I don't know who they make it for. Like I don't really watch it anymore because I'm sick of it. But it's about reclaiming what's actually ours. As human beings, art is a human right. It's a human right for every single person. So surely we should be allowed access and the right to actually make the art that I want to make. And really there should be then places that should show that work. I'm not saying that I want shows all over the place. No, actually I do. No, but no, but I'm not saying that. I want everyone to have that opportunity. Like I've forgotten his fucking name as well. The guy in the Tate Britain with all the school kids. Oh,
yeah, it hasn't been your day for names, has it?
no, exactly. It's the big black dude artist who did all the school children's pictures, and it's gone out of my head anyway. But he's given opportunity to get people like you wouldn't expect to see a school picture on a wall in a gallery. But why shouldn't we be seeing stuff like that? Do you know what I mean?
That's why the university degree shows are actually often quite good. I know they can be really London centric sometimes, but like we did the graduate project and we went all over the UK to those different shows, and the diversity of work, and it was that exact thing of just meeting the people and being like, oh, you're exactly like me. You're just a young person that's trying to do their thing, and such a diversity of people that I met, and so I recommend for people. Yeah, university art shows are definitely somewhere to start.
That's where that picture came from, the one of the face.
There we go.
That was I saw it, and it was the first picture this guy ever sold. And I saw it in the show, and I went, "Wow, I really like that. I want to buy it." She went, "What? What do you mean you want to buy it?" I went, "I want to buy it. How much?" And she went, I went, "I'll buy it off you." So yeah, I bought it. I fucking love it. My favorite piece.
Yeah. And the shame is I'm trying to, because we were going to do the same thing again and go around because it was so much fun, and we're trying to think we might have to do like an online thing like we just mentioned, because there's all this work. It's so anticlimactic, I think, for a lot of these students, and I don't know how they're going to but I'm close with some people on a great course at Central St Martin's called Material Futures, which is just like crazy like ideas of like the future of design, and I'm going to talk to them soon and see what we can do and see what
do it, man,
where they can show their work.